The second one is diversity. This has long been boiling in the background, but I think today it's very fair to argue that there is no CEO of a Fortune 500 company for whom diversity and inclusion is not a priority. At last, we are at a point where social forces are really putting the pressure on leaders to have a clear account of what are we doing to improve diversity. Okay? And I sometimes tease my colleagues at INSEAD, particularly the deans, that yes, we are a very diverse school, but we have what I call Star Trek diversity. How many fans here of Star Trek? The series Star Trek? Man, I'm aging. This is clearly a generational thing. So if you watch Star Trek, the series, what you'll notice is you have aliens from all over the galaxy in this series. They all look very different. Some have big ears, some have a snout, but when they start talking, they all sound American. It's a bit like that on INSEAD campus. You all look very different. But the fact is, if you're looking at the socioeconomic strata from which we are selecting our students, it's actually quite homogeneous. Okay? Yes, we are diverse compared to other business schools by a big margin. Okay? And I will say something about that in a second. But we can do more. I think we can really improve the diversity in our organizations. Now, for diversity to be more than a slogan or an ideology, what do you need? You need data. Right? Without data, we cannot really make a compelling statement about how well we're doing or how badly we are doing. I don't know if earlier this year you were following this on Twitter, but there was the World Women's Day, and many organizations were tweeting about what a wonderful job they're doing celebrating their female colleagues, right? Now, in the UK, there's a little problem. The problem is salary data is public, okay? So a clever bunch of hackers came up with a bot which was looking for the paid disparity between men and women in the companies that were tweeting about their wonderful accomplishments on World Women's Day. And right next to the tweet of the CEO, they would say, in this company, the disparity between men and women is 15%. Okay, enough with the talk, let's get some action. All right? And that really, to me, illustrates the power of data. So without data, this remains an ideological discussion. With data, it becomes a concrete, actionable, managerial action item. Okay? So diversity is going to be super important. Now, INSEAD, as I've already said, I think despite the Star Trek diversity comment I made, is incredibly diverse. And one way I often make that observation is when you come here for the first time, you'll realize within a week or so, everybody has an accent. Okay? Everybody has an accent because there is no one dominant culture. So you're going to hear so many accents, after a while you realize you stop paying attention to the accent, you start hearing the ideas, right? That's really powerful. So I think we do that very well here, but we clearly can do better. We clearly can sample other socioeconomic strata than what we normally do, okay? And again, I think that's going to come from data. It's not going to come just from an ideology or a strong passion to do it. It has to be backed up with evidence. So this is going to be super important going forward.